annual Monterey Jazz Festival. We hope you've had a wonderful weekend. We hope you've enjoyed yourself.
KCSM San Mateo, San Francisco, San Jose, Monterey, and the world.
We at the Monterey Jazz Festival would like to extend our thanks to our friends at MCI for helping us with this weekend and helping fund our great jazz education programs, which I hope you saw some of the wonderful bands today that are the fruits of all that labor. We have a wonderfully exciting show this evening. A couple of years ago, we reinstituted a tradition here at the Monterey Jazz Festival that went back to the very early years, and that is of commissioning new music. This next set with Mr. Cedar Walton, you will hear a beautiful piece that he has written as this year's commissioned artist. But first, he is going to play a couple of tunes with his sextet with some very special guests. So would you please give a warm welcome to the Cedar Walton Sextet.
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That was a piece entitled Happiness. Before we continue, we'd like to introduce the members of the ensemble. On tenor saxophone and soprano, we have the great Ralph Moore. Ralph. Thank you. The trumpet and flugelhorn, the great Roy Hargrove. Thank you. On alto saxophone, the magnificent Vincent Herring. Thank you. On contrabass, the bass, the marvelous David Williams. Hey, David. And on drums, the magnificent Marvin Smitty Smith. Yay, Marvin. Thank you very much. The next selection is entitled Underground Memoirs. Thank you. It was called Underground Memoirs. At this time, I'd like to bring out featured guest Unga on the conga drums. Let's invite him out. Unga. Hey, Unga. Great percussionist, as you'll soon see. We're going to play a piece sort of designed for his being a guest tonight. It's called Theme for Jobim. Thank you very much. Unga, take a bow. Yay. Thank you very much. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome out to the stage members of the Oakland East Bay Symphony under the directorship of Nathan Rubin, concert master. And the conductor this evening was a great friend of mine and who has come and consented to take part in this debut for me for an orchestral work of this magnitude, the name of which is Autumn Sketches. Mr. Bill Bell. Bill Bell will conduct. The name of the piece is Autumn Sketches. you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Bell conducting. Thank you. Nathan Rubin, concert master. Ralph Moore, tenor saxophone. Thank you. Roy Hargrove, trumpet and flugelhorn. Thank you. Vincent Herring, alto sax. David Williams on the bass. Thank you very much. Marvin Smitty Smith, drums. Thank you. Yours truly, Cedar Walton. Thank you very much.
Once again, Mr. Cedar Walton, Autumn Sketches. Cedar Walton. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. You're tuned to KCSM, San Mateo, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose. And we're coming to you live from the 39th Annual Monterey Jazz Festival. I'm Dick Conte. Kathleen Lawton is here, and we just had an opportunity to sit up in about the third row and enjoy that performance. It was great.
That was absolutely splendid. And I have to say something. Whenever I'm told that strings are going to be added to anything, shivers run down my spine. And I think, oh boy, what are we in for? These strings were beautifully put in. They added richness, texture, and body to it without standing out and sentimentalizing it, which I think is really brilliant on Cedar's part. Really lovely, beautifully done.
It was a wonderful performance, and all the musicians seemed to be very much into it. The soloists, everybody got a chance to stretch a bit. And I think Cedar was very happy, too, with the way things were going. Well, we're going to hopefully have a visit with Cedar Walton or some of the members of the group. But we have people standing backstage now. You know how it is when they get through. They're surrounded by everybody, photographers, autograph seekers, and the like. So we'll hope that Cedar will make his way here while we prepare for the next set, which is coming up in probably 10 to 15 minutes, or it could be longer. We'll just have to see on that. And speaking of wonderful piano players, we got one right here. And not only is he a piano player, but he has an album just out called Composer. And you did a couple of tunes with the sextet from that CD, including Theme for Jobim. And then you went right into your brand new work. Hi, Cedar. Good to see you.
Hi, Bill. How you feeling?
Dick. You're
I knew I'd mess up tonight.
You're thinking of Bill Conte, the other guy in L.A. Right.
Excuse me, Dick.
The rich one.
I hope you can find some way to forgive me.
Oh, I can. Because you said Dick when you walked in, so I know you know who I am.
Yeah.
So how does it feel? You said you're really glad it's over, huh?
Well, no, it's just a matter of like thinking about doing something for a number of months, and then the time getting closer and closer and closer, and then finally the day comes. The
pressure was on, huh?
Yeah, I just wanted to. I was waiting for this moment. Little bit I knew I'd be spending it with you.
Yeah. So how many strings were up there?
20.
20.
Yeah, 12 violins, 4 viola, and 4 cellos.
Now, you've done a lot of writing over the years, of course, early years with Art Blakey for small groups. Have you ever done anything on this scale before?
Well, it's been a while, Dick.
You have, though, written for strings before?
Yeah, back in Columbia. It's been a while, back in 75, over 20 years ago. I mean, and then before that, some string work in something in Japan. I don't think it was ever released over here.
So it wasn't a brand new thing for you to do that.
We deal with, well, not necessarily, but I just like writing. So eventually, if you write and try to orchestrate, you run into strings eventually. You can't get away from them.
Now, who do we have sitting back in the corner who just snuck in on us? Is that...
That's the great Marvin Smitty.
That's who I thought it was. Is your mic
Percussionist extraordinaire.
I think so, yes.
Hello, Marvin. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Did you have fun up there?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It was a really great time. Really had a good
treat
time.
to play with Cedar and 6 great players, and then, of course, the whole string section. Is it any different for a drummer to have to interact with a string section like that?
Yeah, there is an adjustment. I mean, just for a drummer in any large ensemble, when you have that many instruments playing concerted figures, rhythmic figures, time starts to kind of get a little behind. So you really have to be more definitive as to giving them a good downbeat, so everybody knows where one is and where the pulse is and where the time is. So that you make an adjustment for that. At least I do. I make an adjustment just to make sure that everybody hears the time, everybody can feel the time, and then we're all playing together.
Well, with Smitty, you don't need a conductor.
Right. And the drummer, I guess, it's an important role in a situation where you have this many people, because I know Bill Bell, who is a fine pianist and in his own right, was doing the conducting, and I guess his role is really to make sure that the string section is with you guys, right? But a lot of it is on you too, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to, as a drummer, you have to keep the time, and you have to make sure that the time is steady as well as present. So it helps, and you have a trusting relationship between myself and the conductor. Yeah. That the conductor trusts me enough to know that, okay, the beat is here, and then he doesn't have to work so hard to try to give it to the rest of the ensemble. So because everybody can hear it and everyone can feel it, so then that makes his job a lot easier.
And you're a writer too, right? And you compose music for
I compose. It takes me a little while, but I get there. One of the great things that happened to me recently was we did a performance with Cedar with the Sextet. We played in Los Angeles, and we played there for a whole week. So I actually wrote out a couple of arrangements of some of his other pieces. We played pieces from his latest recording.
The composer.
The composer. And then I wrote out some other pieces from his, Eastern Rebellion Quartet book, and I wrote out a couple of arrangements for that and orchestrated them for the Sextet, which was a lot of fun, and it was a great learning experience because I really got to learn Cedar's approach to composition. So that was really exciting.
That's pretty unusual, so Cedar, to have your compositions arranged by another musician.
Yeah, I was thrilled.
You must be very trusting.
Still am thrilled.
Saved you a little work too, huh?
Yeah, right. It expanded our repertoire.
How many rehearsals did you have to get this together for tonight?
One.
Are you kidding me?
Well, one. If you include the sound check, we examine some notes a little bit.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Just one major rehearsal.
Yeah. Well,
of course, you're dealing with the top musicians.
Yeah,
who can read
right.
Flypaper.
Yeah, the music wasn't hard. It was just strange.
Strange in what way?
Well, in terms of making sure certain movements had to be precise, and intonation. And my copyist made a few boo-boos, and we had to straighten out. So it was very valuable rehearsal time. Very valuable.
Was that here today?
Yeah, right today where we discovered these things. I said, oh my God. But we figured.
There was
we had 2 hours,
So you had to do some major corrections and things like that?
Yeah, well, we had to just eliminate a signature, for instance, the copyists these days use computers, and sometimes they miss things, It's not, there's nothing like a human copyist, but they don't have them anymore.
Really?
I don't know any.
It's all on computer now, huh?
Well, I would say...
Saves a lot of trouble.
Yeah, most, you can always iron out the mistakes, as long as you have a sufficient rehearsal time.
Are you using a computer in your composing?
No, just my copyist.
So you do the old style of writing it all out?
I compose generally at the piano for the most part,
Well, it sounded great.
Thank you very much.
And this is the first day of autumn, so it couldn't be more timely.
How about that? Yeah. I saw that when I heard that on the news last night. I said, wow, how lucky can you get?
Oh, you hadn't even realized it?
No.
But you knew it would be autumn when you came here.
Yeah, right.
At least close to it.
Right, exactly.
Right. Now, is this something you'd like to do more of?
Sure.
Writing large work?
Of course, yeah. It's always a very satisfying to hear that many people playing your notes.
And these are all classical players that from the Oakland East Bay Symphony. How difficult was it for them to sit down and get the feeling of what you wanted to express and the swing of it?
I would just have to say a little, and then with Bill Bell's expertise of demonstrating how some of the passages should go, it wasn't any trouble. Just
Sometimes
very
classical players can read like crazy, but they have a difficult time making it swing. I see you nodding your head back there. You've had that experience, huh?
Well, you just have to understand that it's when you're talking in terms of feeling, I mean that's something that's beyond the printed page.
Right.
See, so that's
can't
when
write that.
See, sight reading is one thing.
Right.
Reading the notes. Then you have the other aspect of it, which is interpretation, and that's where the other part, which is not just black and white on the printed page. So you have to just deal with the interpretation. And if you have an understanding about what jazz music is all about, then you can get to it a lot faster, obviously.
Yeah. I know way back when Charlie Parker first recorded with strings, at that time that was considered, pretty outrageous and audacious and all those other words. But I guess they made it swing, and that proved that it could be done. And since then, of course, there's been a lot of jazz with strings. And I had forgotten that you had done something like that. What did you do for Columbia? I'm trying to remember.
Soundscapes had strings in it. Yeah.
Was that as large an ensemble?
Yeah.
It
As
was.
I recall, I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, I think so. Almost as large.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, this new album you have out, Composer, is on a new label to me.
Astor Place. Right.
Astor
It
Place.
is a new label. I'm the first artist.
You are.
And then David Murray is the first artist also. I mean, concurrently, you might say. So,
Is that a division of somebody?
yeah, division of Profile, which was a rap label for about 12 years, I think.
Oh, really?
And Smitty, tell me the name of that group. Starts with a D.
What, Run DMC?
Yeah, DMC. Yeah.
Oh, that's where
those were the.
That's where they made the money. Now they're going to get honest, huh?
Yeah. that's the story of that label.
And will you be doing things for them?
Yeah. We're planning some more recordings, sure.
So maybe there's a chance that you could record tonight's piece? Or?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't allow myself to think that far ahead. I just wanted to get this
First, let's
done.
see how it
Yeah,
sounds.
yeah.
Well, the audience, I was out there checking it out from about this third row, and it sounded great, and the audience was very attentive and very much into it.
Oh, that's great. I was
Yeah.
hoping so. I couldn't, you can't cover everything from the stage trying to think
Right.
about the music. So I was hoping that every instrument was getting out, because we could hear good on stage, but you can't tell how it is out there.
Well, I tell you, I've been very impressed this weekend by this audience. In years past, I've been out in the main auditorium or main arena when people were talking and not paying any attention and partying and sort of disregarding what was happening, and I always got very upset by that. That hasn't been happening this weekend. It seems to be a much more attentive audience. People are really paying attention to what's going on up there because there's been some great music, and that was happening again tonight, and it's gratifying to see that people are not taking it as just a party situation. They're here to hear what's going on, and that's
good.
That's great, because for your type of thing, I mean, you want people to check it out. It's
Right.
You're not looking for
I think it was a good evening for it. The first I guess group of artists on the final evening of the still sort of daylight when we started, almost at least.
Yeah.
So I was pleased with that timing.
Whose idea was it to come up with this major work for
Tim
tonight?
Jackson.
Tim approached you.
Tim suggested it, and he said, "How do you want to do it?" And I said, "Well, let's try some strings this time." And that was about 8 months ago.
And this is almost the same group that you have on the new record,
Right.
As far as the horns. Now, Marvin, you're not on it, are you?
No, Victor Lewis.
Victor Lewis.
Played on the.
Yeah, we recorded
latest
back in New
recording.
York.
And Christian
Smitty
McBride.
was out here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Where do you live, Cedar? Are you?
I live in Los Angeles, and
You do live
since
in
I got
LA.
married, I live in New York too, because my wife has a place there. So we still got the two places.
Oh, you recently got married?
June was my June 13th was my first anniversary.
My birthday.
Is that a fact?
Yes.
Wow, coincidences
Again.
abound.
Right. When's your birthday?
Mine's 17th January.
January.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember I was mentioning earlier, we were table mates on a jazz cruise for about a minute.
Yeah.
Then you discovered a lady, and last time I saw you,
Oh, really? No
this is
kidding.
way before you were married.
Yeah.
Remember that cruise?
Yeah, I certainly do.
Yeah,
It
that was
lots of fun. All cruises are fun, I tell you. To play music on the water is something very thrilling.
Have you been doing that since then? as well?
Not a lot, no. I've done about 2 or 3 in my time.
Marvin, are you going to be doing some more things on your own, or what's happening with you these days?
Well, right now, since I've been doing the Tonight Show, that's primarily been the focus. It's been a blessing because at this point, since I'm doing the show and I'm consistently in one place, that's giving me the time and opportunity to just basically hone in some other skills.
You know,
So
I
that's
totally
what I'm trying to
forgotten
take
that you're
my
on the
time.
Tonight Show. Excuse me for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is it working with Jay?
Well, it's fine. It's fun. It's easy to do, and therefore you can enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, really. And Jay is fun, and he's nice to us. To the guys in the band, and he's really nice to everybody on the
Guys
set.
look like you're having a great time.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, in the beginning, he started on a rough terrain, and he really worked hard to make the show #1, and it's really doing well. And since I've been on the show, and Ralph Moore came on board, and Kevin Eubanks took over as musical director, it's really lifted up a lot.
He seems a lot more into it than Branford was.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true, and we just look at it for what it is. It's television.
It's a good gig,
and you can get into it, and you don't try to make more out of it than what it is, and you just do the job. And hey, you can go home feeling good, and it's the stability that you want on an economic level, and also just being in one place and not being on the road.
All that exposure.
And it's good exposure, and like I say, it just gives me time to really try to sit down and work out on trying to get my writing together. Try to learn how to get my keyboard chops together and all that.
Oh, you're doing that too, huh?
Well, I'm trying,
right.
So it's getting there.
Well, say hi to Jay Leno for all of us.
All right, I sure will.
And the rest of the gang. And we thank Marvin Smitty Smith, the drummer, and tonight's performance with Cedar Walton. Cedar, thanks again for coming by. And,
My pleasure.
We hope to hear that on a CD so we can really sit and listen to it.
Okay.
In a very thorough way. Meanwhile, we were playing Composer quite a lot.
Oh, great. Thank you very much.
Enjoying it. Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank
Cedar
you.
Walton and Eastern Rebellion with the full orchestra tonight, and you heard it here on KCSM Jazz 91, where in just a matter of a couple of minutes we're going to head back to the main stage, the Jimmy Lyons stage, for the next performance of the evening, which will be